This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
He is nominated to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. He is a punk icon, an MTV icon, a rock and roll icon. He's a new album coming out called Dream Into It. Also on the It's a Nice Day to Tour Again tour. Coming to the Garden August 20th along with his pal Joan Jett. All the info, BillyIdol.net. He is Billy Idol, who joins us in the studio. Billy, we'll start right there with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You've been eligible for a while. This is the first time you've been nominated, which seems like an absolute crime to me. But how did you find out? Did you get a phone call? Did you get a text? What happened?
I suppose my manager told me that.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of like pretty wild. I mean, I was at the Aussie induction last year.
Yeah,
and that was really good fun. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was a great night, and just seeing a load of people I already knew, and then meeting a million other people I didn't know. Jelly Roll, I met him and stuff. And
yeah.
Performed with him. And it was a really great night. I really enjoyed it. So then hearing that I've sort of been nominated with Steve Stevens, if I get in, Steve Stevens, my guitar player.
Rightly so. Well-deserved, right? You guys have been together forever. By the way, we'll tell all of your fans that the fan vote is open now. So go and vote for Billy Idol right now. Vote.rockhall.com. You got to get in there. And I watched that ceremony last year. It was so much fun. I mean, the Ozzy was amazing. The whole thing was fantastic. I mean, it's going to be fun for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot more vibey when you're there than it looks on television.
Of course.
It was really cool,
because you got the backstage scene. You're seeing all these people that you may or not have met over the years.
Yes, I got to meet Dua Lipa, which was rather quite lovely.
She's pretty huge. Yeah, she's absolutely stunning.
Quite gorgeous. Yes.
You just presented Green Day with an Alternative Artist of the Year award at the iHeartRadio Music Awards this year. Have you been a fan of those guys since day one? Or
well, yeah. I mean, Billy Joe loves one of the songs of Generation X. That's a punk rock group I was in back in the 70s in England, and he loves "Kiss Me Deadly." It's one of his favorite. I think it's his favorite song. He said so. So I've kind of been part of helping them to clearly become a band sort of thing somehow, one way or another, hook or by crook, as usual.
Clearly influenced by punk rock. I mean, Are there any other newer bands or artists that you're really into lately that you seem to be listening to?
I just was checking out Post Malone and people like that a few years ago. I kind of looked to see how they produce records today, because they're almost like electronic records. These modern records, they can have everything's at the front of the mix.
Yeah.
Almost like electronic music. It's kind of interesting. Whereas rock and roll, you have to kind of stagger it.
Right,
The overall picture.
Right. Congratulations on this new album. It is so good. It's called Dream Into It. Classic Billy Idol for sure. The whole album, along with Steve Stevens, your amazing guitarist and songwriting partner for decades now. Some special collaborations on this album. Joan Jett, Avril Lavigne, Alison Mosshart from The Kills. This must have been really fun for you.
It was really, really good fun. And, working with Avril on 77 was fantastic. She was just great. And I think, she sings about today, about what's happening to young people today. And then I was able to sort of think about what was happening to us in the mid-70s in England. Because in some ways, what was happening in England isn't back then. England's kind of like a polyglot society, which was going through a massive depression back then. And there was a lot of kind of fight between the sort of immigrants and the authorities, and also the sort of youth groups were fighting each other as a reflection of that. The unions were fighting whatever government was in. There was a lot of polarization. It's not so different from what's going on in America today. So I felt that we could draw the two times together and sing about the kind of the spirit that we had back then, which I think people need to have today to sort of combat what's going on.
Yeah, and you bring that up. I mean, lyrically, the album's kind of a sentimental, sometimes reminiscent look back at those early days, Yeah,
it's a look back, but it's also got brings us to the modern day as the album goes on. It brings us to the modern day, to me today. The me today was I'm a granddad. I've got 4 grandchildren. And it's crazy stuff. Somehow I've got a family I love and everything. But at the same time, I'm able to live my dream.
2023 was the 40th anniversary of Rebel Yell, which came out then. Getting back to that, tell me about the early days in London. I read that you carried all of your possessions in a plastic bag at one point. What was your typical day like then? Like, were you starving? Did you have any money? I mean, did you have one set of pants? Tell me about your typical life back then when you were really sort of struggling.
Yeah, we basically didn't have any money at all. We were sort of squatting in places, and so, and then you just sort of like sleeping on people's floors or whatever, and then, you basically had your contents of like an HMV bag. So I had like a T-shirts, cassettes, some lyrics, and and it was very sort of we were sort of living, we were living it day to day, and we didn't really know if there was a future in what we were doing. We were really doing it just for the sheer hell of it. It's like maybe it's going to last 6 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
And then, boom, it kind of exploded in England. And that's the last thing we really thought, because it was such a small scene. So you did this thing because you loved it. And that's what we were doing. We were just living it day to day because we loved it. And then, boom, and here I am 49 years later or something ridiculous, And it's like, I think it's great. I kind of got paid back for doing the thing I loved. I was really lucky.
Yeah. I'm going to reference your pal here, Steve Jones. Did you ever have to steal any band equipment to play a gig?
I think Steve stole it all. So.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Steve, how was Generation Sex? And I'll just tell our listeners, that was a band with you, Steve Jones, Paul Cook, sort of a mashup of Generation X and the Sex Pistols. Talk about that experience.
It was really fun. We got to play Glastonbury in England, and we played like tiny little clubs in France, and then we played these gigantic festivals. It was kind of crazy, but the mixture was kind of great, and it was really fun. And it's just great to play with that classic Pistol sound that Jonesy and Cookie, once they're playing, it's that sound, that was so exciting in 1976, 77, and still is today. It was really good fun, although I think what they're doing by putting, the other
Frank Carter, is that his name?
Yeah. What they're doing with it, because I couldn't sing all the Johnny songs. I couldn't do Anarchy kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we were doing God Save the Queen and stuff like that, and some of the Stepping Stone and stuff like that. But I think with Frank Carter they can do the whole album. So I think they're enjoying it a lot more.
I saw the Sex Pistols,
but I think it's great. I just love seeing Cookie and Jonesy playing, and
right,
that they're excited and having fun. They want to play. I get it that Johnny doesn't want to do it. He's into public image. I totally get that.
Yeah, totally.
I'm glad they found Frank, and they seem to be really enjoying it.
And he crushes it, so that's fantastic.
It's having a whale of a time, looks like.
What do you think you'd be doing if you never discovered music and discovered the joy you had of doing music? Do you think you'd have another career doing anything other than this, or?
I don't know. It would have been pretty miserable, whatever it was, because it wouldn't have been the thing I loved. I would have been doing something that I was just sort of doing it because I had to or something,
Right.
But this, I don't know. The times they were telling you there was no future. That was what was going on in England in the mid-'70s. So it was kind of like, well, why not do the thing we love then?
Right.
And that's kind of what we did.
What's that? I don't know who said it. Do something you'll love. You'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been like that, even though it's at times been hard work.
Well, you've hard work, but you love it.
Yeah. So
you can deal with all the BS if you love what you're doing, right?
That's right.
Your memoir had the perfect title, Dancing with Myself, and the song I've been playing from the new album is Still Dancing. What can you tell us about this one, or is it really sort of self-explanatory?
Well, it is a little bit about my life and about the early days, but it's also is still very much about today, that I was still rocking. I'm still enjoying what we do. I'm playing with Steve Stevens, my guitarist. He's playing better than ever.
He's a monster, that guy. Jesus, he's so good.
We've got this killer album, Dream Into It. The songs are great. I don't think there's a bad track on it. So all of that is so exciting. It's like, wow, I can't believe it's all the denouement of my life is like really turning out to be a hell of a lot of fun. So.
Tell me about the first time you played New York City. Do you remember?
Well, yeah, of course, it's years ago. I mean, it's when I came here to live. I came to Manhattan to live in America and restart my career here, because it done okay in England, but my band had broken up and I was here as a solo artist. And
Where was the first gig? Do you remember? Did you play CB's?
I think it was Max's Kansas City. We did
Max's.
a jump up.
Okay.
They were closing Max's Kansas City, and we did a jump up, and
Right.
I think that was our first gig, Billy
Pretty
Idol
cool.
first gig. It was actually a jump up at Max's Kansas City.
Madison Square Garden. I'm assuming you've played there before.
Yeah, in '87. Yeah.
87 was the first one. So
Yeah.
what's it like walking in there? And you're going to come back there, and you're going to be playing there again with Joan Jett this summer. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, for me, when I have had the opportunity to be backstage and you walk down those halls, you see everyone that's played there. It's still very impressive, right?
Oh yeah, it's such a classic place to play, and so New York and everything. It's just it's going to be incredible. And playing with Joan, we've done shows together, but we've never done a tour, so I'm sure it's going to be great. And then she's on one of the songs on the album. She's
she
on
is.
Wild Side. She's fantastic on that.
I love the tour announcement video you did with Joan Jett. And you can find it on Billy Idol's Instagram.
It really came out great with Matt Rife. Yes.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
fantastic.
That guy's huge, too. I mean, God. He is nominated to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is Billy Idol. You can vote for him right now at vote.rockhall.com. Billy's got a fantastic new album coming out called Dream Into It. And get all the info, billyidol.net. Coming to the Garden with Joan Jett, August 20th. Fantastic. Billy, so great to have you back here. You must have found the fountain of youth, because every time you come here, I'm blown away about how you have not changed your look at all in like 40 years. I don't know how you do it, man.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I've had a great time, and thank you, everybody.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.